The early 1400s was an awkward point in Italian history. In many aspects, this period was a puberty for the peninsula, a transition from medieval to Renaissance that resulted in rapid growth spurts and a forced acceptance of something new. Medieval Italy was being constantly reminded of a past that was greater than its present. Every major city was made either from the once great Roman Empire, whose peak was well past 1,000 years old at this point, or from the downfall of that same nation. Everything that was made after by the Italians, while beautiful in a rustic way, in their mindsets could never really match up with the achievements and the grandiosity of the ancients. Medieval Italy was ambitious, in that it wanted to exemplify again what the Romans already had once. The problem with this is that while the medieval world certainly had the ambitions to replicate the Roman works, and new concepts were being made across the peninsula, there remained a stubbornness across the varying city leaders and their principalities that would often get in the way of truly achieving their lofty goals. Traditions about who would have the chance to attempt something great, traditions about aesthetics, and traditions about technique were so deeply rooted that any kind of new concepts were completely disregarded as ridiculous, regardless of merit. And it is in this period of stubborn medieval thought, and the upcoming ideas of the Renaissance, that we find the cupola of Florence and its maker, Filippo Brunelleschi. Brunelleschi represented the first major instance where a major project would be given to someone with a genuinely outside-of-the-box perspective. Check my other videos to see some ways he did this, by the way. With an architectural project on the scale of the Florence Dome, the idea that the job would be given to a silversmith instead of one of the many practiced architects in the city by city officials was initially considered an insult. A variety of letters of complaint were sent to the city government complaining about this appointment, and due to this, there was a very significant push to take Brunelleschi off the project. In what is perhaps a stereotypically Italian style of achieving goals, the city officials would not go so far as to outright fire Brunelleschi. Instead, some of the officials and Brunelleschi's critics would create the circumstances where Brunelleschi would be seen as unfit for the job. Masons walking off the workplace, constant scrutineering by overseers, and an intense rival being given a position of equal pay without equal requirements of work, all plagued the developments that Brunelleschi was trying to accomplish with the dome. All of these were unsuccessful, ironically being matched with the attitude of an artist that was equally stubborn in his ideas as the officials were in theirs. Fast forward 16 years and the dome was completed to the specifications of a silversmith, and the bewilderment of architects at the time. The grandiosity of the Romans had been refound, but in a methodology that was completely unexpected in the mindset of medieval thinkers witnessing the newly shaped skyline of Florence. But what would this mean for the rich men of Italy who were paying for new and expensive pieces of art, and who wanted the exceptionalism of Rome that Brunelleschi had just refound? There were two things about Brunelleschi that would be focused on. The first is that a newly revamped study of Roman works would begin in earnest. Brunelleschi spent a massive portion of his time finding out how to make the dome by studying the domes of the Romans in Rome itself, likely giving him ideas and tricks that others weren't familiar with. The second was a new trend in art funding, where support would be given to those with a new or different outlook of methodology for making the works. Brunelleschi was a man beyond eccentricism, and to replicate what he did, patrons would look for other eccentric artists to achieve similar feats. These two lessons the Italians learned back then, we still hold true today. The fact of the matter is, when it comes to art, tradition is secondary. For one to be creative, you need to have creativity. Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. I know it took a really long time to make this video. This is the fourth version of it, and it just took quite a long time to make, but thank you so much for watching anyway. I am working on other videos, so they should be coming up. Be sure to subscribe, and then you'll be able to get a notification of when they're coming up. That's about it. Thank you so much.